Hey guys, my name's AniMind and welcome back to another speed paint video. Today will be the last of my 3-part series about my storyline, and this isn't really going to be the last part, but it's the last part where I work on this speed paint, and when I'm done with that, I'm just going to focus a bit more on other topics for a while and other paintings, and the next time drawings. The next time I have a big project like this one, I'll talk a bit more about the storyline. So big projects are reserved for the storyline from now on. So yeah, and anyway, I'm just going to finish off about how because in the last video I ended it quite quickly about how Nigel talked about how the book has to do with the legend about the Ice Ages and non-magical eras. And non-magical eras exist in the storyline, and they are basically time spans when magic stops existing for a while, and this time span exists to ensure balance in the universe, because if magic exists for too long, then magic will start to become unstable, and then certain races of magic will dominate the entire world. So just to ensure that this doesn't happen, the universe has a non-magical era, and the universe doesn't just really do it. They are whom does this isn't really a person, it's spirits, magical spirits, which are basically celestial gods. So they're not really spirits, but they're more like godlike figures to the magical folk, and they're also quite legend. So there are obviously some people that just don't believe in them, and then there are other people who are over enthusiasts who believe in them overly and base their whole lives around the existence of them. So they're just like any god would be in most eyes of a civilization. Some just don't care, and others care too much per se. So yeah, and these spirits do exist, as I've probably already said earlier. But yeah, and there are 4 of them. They're almost like the Avatar spirits. It is fire, water, earth, and air. So exactly the same as Avatar, but only a little bit different because the thing is that every person can practice one kind of magic that has to do with the elements. But if you start not interbreeding, but if you start learning different kinds of magic together, you can get subsections. For example, let's take a really popular example: fire and water, basically heat and cold, creates electricity. So then, if you learned how to do use water and fire, you can probably also have electricity powers. So it's almost like I have a few graphs. It's kind of a complicated graph, how the different kinds of magical creatures can be combined. Well, not magical creatures, and going to magical creatures themselves. All magical creatures fall under one of these categories. So, for example, let's take a popular example like a dragon, which obviously exists in my storyline. A dragon would be, depending on the kind of dragon, let's take the normal over-serialized dragon, it would be fire and maybe lava, maybe not, and also air, because dragons mainly live in air. So those 2 to 3 examples. There are stuff like ice dragons, weird dragons that shoot out venomous, what's it called? Venomous spikes, I believe, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's more how to train your dragons thing, and I'm not really going to dragons aren't going to be a real big part of my storyline, because I feel like they're over serialized and they're just used way too much in medieval, fantasy storylines and stuff like that. So they are going to exist, but they're not going to be really big players. So yeah, so I use this system. The system won't be really referred to a lot in the storylines, but I use it to categorize my creatures and also to create more creatures. Because if I see that I've been creating way too many creatures that fall under one category, I try to level the playing field by creating a bit more creatures on the other sides. So then I can try to make the diversity as even as possible between the different categories, because the different categories are also parts of different biomes, which you need to keep in mind. Like all the heat-based ones are obviously volcanic biomes and even desert-like biomes, but yeah, and then stuff like air and colder stuff is more mountainy biomes, as well as stone would also be in some mountainy biomes, cave-like areas, something like Giant's Creek. I think it's called that, Giant's Creek. I'm not sure. The place with those weird hexagonal stones, that would definitely be a stone-based area. And yeah, so there are different types of magic, but then there is the one magic that I don't want to have, but I will kind of have in my storyline. By that I mean that it does exist, but it won't be used too much, and that is plant-based magic, which in many fantasy stories does exist, plant-based and life-based magic. But the thing is, in my storyline, plant-based magic doesn't really exist. Well, it does, but it faded away in the history books because because of the separation between humans and nature itself. Humans becoming more independent, even magical folk focusing more on technology and more, I'd say, physical powers instead of biological powers. Sorry. So yeah, but there are 5 types of biological magic. The two that there 4 of them are represented by cards, and one is more of a unknown category because it's really unknown. So hearts and diamonds, the 2 most famous card symbols, are also the 2 most well-known biology-based magic forms of magic. So diamonds is mind, control of the mind, which is really complicated. I'm not going to get into too deep of them because my time's running out in this video. But yeah, then there's hearts. Hearts is the heart, literally, the ability to control passion and love, and this is also much harder, but it has a more permanent effect than mind. Then spades and clubs are the 2 less known ones. Spades is known, but not really little, and this is the body, and clubs is plant-based magic and creation. And then there is a skull symbol for the soul. And yeah, so sorry, that's all the time I have for this video. Please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. And yeah, goodbye. Sorry about that quick ending. I just don't have much time left. Sorry about not uploading this much. I was just a little bit busy, but I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.